All right, we just turned the page, new section, excuse me, a new heading called Mendel's peas. Mendel made a wise decision when he chose to study peas rather than other plants in the monastery garden. Pea plants are easy to study because they have many traits that exist in only two forms. For example, pea plant stems are either tall or short, but not medium height. Also, garden peas produce a large number of offspring in one generation. Thus, it is easy to collect large amounts of data to analyze. So in other words, the pea plants come in the traits come in two forms. So there's a table later on that you'll see, and because of that, it's easy to study. There were no in-between traits. For instance, I may have mentioned this in class with hair color. There are so many varieties of just brown hair color that it's very hard to pinpoint exactly what color it is. Whereas with the pea plants, it was one trait or another, or it had the trait or it didn't. It was very easy to see. The illustration below shows a flowering pea plant. Notice that the flower petals surround the pistil and the stamens. The pistil produces female sex cells or eggs, while the stamens produce pollen, which contain the male sex cells. I'll read what it says under here. Garden pea plants. Garden peas usually reproduce by self-pollination. Pollen from a flower's stamens, this area here, lands on the pistil of the same flower here. Plants that result from pollination inherit all the characteristics from the single parent plant. Applying concepts. How did Mendel prevent his pea plants from self-pollinating? So let's get back to up here for a second. So these, the way the plant is set up, of course the petals are here to attract a would-be pollinator, such as a bee. The stamens are the male part, which produce the pollen. The pistil is the female part that receives the pollen. So the pistil produces female sex cells. Those would be the eggs and other parts of the female part of the plant. And stamens produce the pollen, which are the male sex cells. Important to record that even plants have sex cells, because we're going to have big discussions about sex cells with other organisms, including humans. In nature, pea plants are usually self-pollinating. This means that pollen from one flower lands on the pistil of the same flower. So in other words, it doesn't show in this picture very well, but if the pistil were lower, the stamens would drop pollen and it would fall right on the top of this pistil. Or they even might fall on flowers that are below on the same plant. That's also self-pollination. Mendel developed a method by which he could cross-pollinate or cross pea plants. So whenever we use that word cross, we mean cross-pollinate. To cross two plants, he removed pollen from a flower on one plant and brushed it onto a flower on a second plant. To prevent the pea plants from self-pollinating, he carefully removed the stamens from the flowers on the second plant. So he could gather up this pollen from one flower and put it on the pistil of a flower on a different plant. That's cross-pollination. And if he wanted to keep a plant from self-pollinating, he just cut off the stamens so they could not pollinate.